Episode 10 of The Judge from Hell begins with Arong showing up in an abandoned lot to conjure the demon of death. With a fiery pentagram on the ground, she watches as a whirlwind cascades and summons Bael. He in turn gets his subordinate Paimon to remember Daeon's name while going on the hunt. We then cut to Munjae, who bleeds out and dies on the ground. Naturally, that's not the end of it, as Paimon transfers into his body. This collides with the moments in episode 9, with Munjae taking a lot of interest in Daeon and Bitna's relationship. Unfortunately, Daeon's words before about calling her humane hold more weight now, and him ordering Daeon to do what he says is all one big ploy to take them both out for Bael. Bitna sits with Munjae and warns him not to threaten Daeon again. This is enough for him to realise Daeon knows everything about her being Justicia, and of course this is only stoking the fires of revenge and making it so he has to die. Speaking of making a statement, Seonho is sentenced to 2 years and probation for his reckless actions. He's shocked and that night grabs a knife, contemplating doing the unthinkable. Bitna is starting to unravel as we know, and she warns Arong away from Daeon at the convenience store that night. She's so close to killing Jae, but she deliberates over So-young's murderer and wants to be extra careful over who she kills. They're not the only ones suspicious though, as the assemblyman decides he's going to throw a bone and help Bitna. This comes from stopping the men looking to press charges in episode 9 and taking down the videos and comments surrounding her. Bitna meets with Gabriel, who's back as Mija again, and tries to convince her to help. She wants to know what happens to Daeon through all of this if she goes back to hell, but Gabriel is not playing ball. She simply berates Bitna, bringing a man nearby over to help the poor old lady away from mean old demon Justicia. It's a pretty amusing moment and one that only further frustrates our protagonist. We said the story would come back to Satan and Akylum, and here we see how. Mando, Daeon and Bitna discussed the case that night and realised they all involved dismembered body parts. It would appear that Jae and Satan may be one and the same. Their theory is that Satan entered Jae's body and committed these murders, as in order for a demon to remain in human form, they'd need different body parts of good people and the Akylum to do so. Meanwhile, Daeon finds himself in hot water when Munjae uploads the surveillance footage to his phone. He now has proper leverage over him, and it seems things are going to be that much harder to resolve. He keeps this to himself though, while he and Bitna head off and visit the victims of Jae's vicious murders. None of them have forgiven him, obviously, but none have faith in the system to catch him either and bring the guy to justice. Elsewhere, Arong brings Mando along to meet Munjae in secret. He tells Mando that he's going to be given an important task soon and he needs to make sure he doesn't fail. Arong is quick to point out that Justicia can't be hurt in all of this, and those aren't the instructions given by Bael. He's told Paimon he can kill Justicia if he wishes. Now, we saw a bit of this in the previous episode, but here we finally get clarity around how Myung-suk plays into this case. She's a mother to someone called Jeong Yi-chan, the kid we saw a bit of in flashbacks last episode. She opens his room and flashbacks flood in to show their ties. Myung-suk was always busy, working hard to make ends meet. However, her life was turned upside down when she received a call about her son's death. She's distraught and bitter that the Lord has taken her son. The reason Myung-suk hasn't left the villa for all this time, and why she's so devoutly sticking to her faith in God, is because she thinks her prayers will eventually be answered. And having seen that Jae is on the loose, she wants to meet him in order to gain closure. Finally, they visit Daeon's old house, and having heard all these stories, Bitna now remains dead set on finding this serial killer and making him pay no matter what. When she shows at the club, Mando is outside and keeps watch, while she goes in to see Seonho. He's completely taken aback by her claims that he's Satan, and to be honest, it doesn't seem to be him either, gauging by his reaction. With Bitna distracted, Mando's tasked with pretending to be her on the phone, putting on a facade that she needs help. As Daeon races off, Mando heads to the church to pray for forgiveness. It's the last time he'll be there though, deciding that he's destined to be in hell and he'll never stop being a demon. However, he has sulfur powder in his bag and he throws it at Arong outside when she antagonizes him, racing to get away. Mando heads back home, but of course Justicia isn't there. Mija is though and sees her firsthand. The pair of them race to the club and tell Bitna the bad news. Mija shrugs and tells them she only helps the good and the poor. As Mando admits the truth, Bitna reveals that she knew all along and actually doesn't care. However, that's the least of their problems right now. Daeon finds himself walking right into the trap where Munjae claims that he's killed Bitna. He lets Daeon have his fun before effortlessly turning the tables. Bitna manages to show up in time though, and the pair end up fighting. However, before Bitna can hit him with a Hellblade and end this, he conjures a vision that depicts Daeon in his place. Daeon manages to help snap her out of this vision, calling out for Bitna. As the pair trade blows, Bitna gets the last laugh and seems to kill the demon outright. She's shocked that Daeon is hurt, however, Paimon suddenly gets back up again, a murderous look on his face. Daeon senses what's about to happen and gets in the way, taking the blow for Bitna. So the Judge from Hell returns with an action-packed chapter that sees Daeon and Bitna faced with a massive dilemma. Not only is it now clear that Seonho isn't serial killer Jae, but Bael and Paimon are working against Bitna and want to take her and Daeon out. There's a nice moment with Mando getting help from an angel here, who obviously only helps the good and the poor, with a little nod to our church-going demon, while seeing the victims all talk about their experiences with this serial killer works to flesh out more of the story and make their endeavour that much more urgent and trying. The ending is a bit cliched. I mean, anyone who's watched a K-drama has seen this play out multiple times before, with Daeon taking a hit for Bitna, and perhaps it was a bit obvious the show would go this route, given we've been gearing up for their romance to take shape for several episodes now. However, it works pretty well here, all things considered, and it definitely has next week's double bill looking like a must-watch affair. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.